Hello, everyone. Welcome into Zelda Speedruns. Today we've got the Skyward Sword Randomizer weekly race. We've got Fireworks Spinner and Clarion on stream. Um, Tracking today is Cube David, and commentating is KitCot and myself. How are you doing, Kit?
I'm doing very good, thank you. Yes, hello, I am back from the dead. The dead being Wind Waker Randomizer. So, so another cool Skyward Sword weekly going on here. We got two good runners, Fireworks Spinner and Clarion. Fireworks Spinner has been kind of in the community for quite a while, and he's always been a quite a respectable runner. And Claire is someone who has joined very recently. She actually is one that came over from Wind Waker. I haven't heard her do too much yet. I believe she's very, very recent, but I know she has been very much playing this game in the background. And from what I've heard, she's been getting pretty good pretty quickly. But we will see how the seed pans out. So I believe this will be Remlet settings, which should be Remlet settings if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct. They're a little different from last week if you watched. So we've added a few things in. Bokoblin base, the upper area has been added in, and some things were changed with gratitude crystals as well.
Alright, so we appear to have Sandship and Ancient Cistern as our dungeons. We only have 2 dungeons this time. I mean, we've always had 2 dungeons with Remlets, but yeah. Yes, interesting. Okay, so Chest on Shack is dead. Surge's Crystals is dead. Gratitude for Freed Crew is dead.
I caught one Baron, which was Petro.
Okay, there's a sword behind the Skirvo fight on Sandship.
Oh, that'll actually be kind of fun to see.
It will be, yeah.
I did not see our other 2 Baron areas.
I didn't either. I'm just trying to remember what they were. I'm sure I saw them. I can't quite.
I saw Betray.
Oh yeah, Betray.
And I saw our 2 path hints were Central Skyloft and Bokoblin base. But I don't remember what our other 2 Baron areas were. Not sure if someone else caught that.
Okay, Fireworks Spinner, my guy, going for Crane Clip. I approve of this play.
Yeah. Firework has Festive Link, which was reason I was like, okay, I knew he would have it, so I was like, I gotta put him on Restream.
Oh yeah, Festive Link.
I wish I had caught the other 2 Baron hints. Not sure if our tracker did or anyone else in chat did.
If I'm trying to remember, I want to say one might be Volcano Summit. That might be Seed Bleed from another seed I had, actually.
Yeah.
So don't trust what I say. Don't trust what I say. Just straight up.
Yeah, the Bokoblin base to Galactos is interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unless it's that very first check in Bokoblin base, because that's pretty locked deep. Betro dead means... So, these settings have been tweaked a little, so our runners start with 20 crystals. And instead of 5 and 10, 30, 40, and 50 are actually the ones in Logic. So there's 4 Gratitude Crystal packs taken out, but there are still 9 Junk Gratitude Crystal packs. Okay, thank you, Q. Yeah, Volcano Summit and Skyloft Village dead is not a lot of information. Those are pretty low check areas.
Skyloft Village is, in these settings, it's 1 check.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, Cubed, I would not even bother tracking Gratitude Crystals just because they don't really mean anything. We're not really getting a lot here in our first Skyloft deck.
Yeah, and as you can see, Firework did actually abandon the Karain clip, which is unfortunate, but yeah.
So yes, barons are somewhat weighted by number of locations. So the more checks in an area, the more likely it is to be hinted baron if it's dead. It's not a guarantee, but like right after these new settings came out, there was a Bokoblin base dead, and in these settings, that's like 9 checks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Lineru Desert, if it is barren, because it's got so many checks, is basically guaranteed to get hinted.
Like 16. It's like 16, so the odds of it actually being Baron are pretty. Because this game has quite a few Baron blockers, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know that it's that much more than any other game. It's just there are fewer items, so it feels a little more. And that's one of the reasons for the change on gratitude crystals is you only needed 6 out of 13 before, and so there's kind of a desire to take them out. Man, this is a totally empty Skyloft so far, with Central Skyloft to Tennis.
Claire doing the dive there to go into the cave backwards, which is often a strat you'll see quite a lot of top runners do.
Yeah, there's not a lot left in Central Skyloft. I'm just trying to think through this. We're seeing Claire go with the Elden start. That is, I think you will see in these settings with an open 3-tablet start is almost always going to be what you have our runners go for. Elden has, I think, 6 or 7 checks you can get very quickly.
Yeah, it has quite a few
plus the first check in Bokoblin base. So it's the most. It is the most efficient place to start.
Fireworks, but also going for that dive there gets it quite nicely.
Yeah, cubed. It with Betro completely dead. I think it's fine if you're not tracking. I'm starting to wonder if we're going to get something really good in this first Bokoblin base check, like claw shots or something, and that's our path item. Because we're seeing kind of the Sphere Zero checks are all checking out.
Nice. A sword on Claire.
Saw Fireworks expression.
Oh, Drug, yeah.
He's not even going to Lumpy Pumpkin.
He
might be doing just... Oriel.
Oh yeah, like the classic like sky loop.
Yeah, we don't see this as much. Okay.
Bottle from Claire.
Here's a thought. That bottle is gonna lock something that basically locks all of our progression on Oriel's on Peros crystal.
That would be rather disgusting, but a possible future.
I've just like I've seen seeds like that. I mean, we're gonna have to see what else Claire gets here in Elden, but like this is a very barren start.
I Firework with some money there, which will probably be useful when he gets access to Beetle. But for now, it's just going to be just a little bit more cash in the wallet. Claire struggling a little bit with this movement here, getting burnt.
Yeah, Firework is checking the sky. I don't know if he doused the 2 spiral charge rocks yet, but they both look dead. I'm starting to get very suspicious of this seed. And
It's yeah, not too many items off the bat, so
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the only check that's pinging here in Magma Turf is locked behind your first taking day,
Oh
which
yeah.
Claire does not have. So if you've not seen a Skyward Sword race before, one of the cool features we have in this game is dowsing, which we kind of use similar to like a chest appearance matches contents, chest texture matches contents, um, where essentially if a chest has a potential progress item, it will have a ping when you douse it. It's a vanilla mechanic, but used a little differently. Yeah, that was a sneaky Boko. Okay, now I am incredibly suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're starting to get comfortable. We've got Farron, which is okay, but there's still a lot of items we'd want to have to go there. The Nehru is just kind of, yeah, please, let's not go there. There's like one check.
There's exactly one check.
Exactly one check that we can do right now, and it sucks, so...
Yeah, I mean, I will say again, seeds like this, that check has been known to have like claw shots, bomb bag, but I'm starting to think that this bottle is basically going to lock all of our progression behind it.
Maybe.
Which is very gross. Yeah, you can recolor bombs. This is a kind of custom skin that Firework made. I don't know if you can recolor bombs in the randomizer itself, like you can with tunics or things like that.
Yeah, the answer to that is no. In order to like recolor things like bombs, recolor things like you know, like anything like the hearts that you see firework, anything like that. You need to either recolor it either via dolphin or by modifying the game file itself.
Yeah.
And that's actually how we initially did the modified the tunic and stuff like that. That's initially how we did that, like for the first few years of the rando. But then, thankfully, that got added into the the build, which has been pretty nice to see actually.
So that bottle locked Arkaevsky, which is, well, that's not Koloktos. But I'm starting to think we're going to get some kind of projectile here on Peros crystals. That is somehow
would make sense.
Potentially both Artenalis and Koloktos path. Huh. Well, that is our Koloktos path. For sure.
Yep, scale.
Yeah. And that is a bottle locked scale. That scale does make Farron the much more obvious choice here.
It makes no sense because you can clear a lot of Lake Floria and okay, that's mostly just Lake Floria stuff, but that's still quite a few more checks that you can do when you like otherwise couldn't.
Yeah, I mean you can get 8 checks in Lake Floria with the Water Dragon scale.
Or maybe 7. There's one. I know there's one check that requires the beetle, but otherwise you can get everything else.
Hey, baseball, welcome in. Yeah, if this is a... I mean, I would not be surprised now if our claw shots are here in Lake Floria, and that is our central Skyloft to Tantalus Path. Because that's the only thing, like, that's the one thing locking access. Could be Whip, could also be Bow or Gust Bellows, but I think that bottle locked all of our progression. And I don't really know what else to say besides, like, that is a really gross random logic that we got. So yeah, we're gonna see Claire at least look at a lot here in Farron. She can't get everything because there's quite a few checks that are locked behind a beetle, or I guess that's the big thing, is the beetle locks quite a bit. But there's a chest she can douse here. There's some things she can take a look at. I'm waiting for Fireworks' reaction when he gets the scale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on Firework, this was a little bit uncomfortable with how he kind of how he did Pyro's gift early. He essentially kind of turned it into a double dip. But either way, he's going to get that scale, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll be able to see how he reacts, because us here from the commentary booth, we have access to Fireworks' face, yeah, so we'll see what
Claire. So there is no way to get. Well, there are some back in time tricks you can do to knock that down. That's fine, but other than that, you need some kind of projectile claw shots to get that fine down. So Claire can't get into Deep Woods yet.
Fireworks Spinner is very much just like talking to himself, going,
Yeah, I mean, this is...
Yeah.
Like I said, Claire is now peaking basically every Sphere Zero check.
Firework looks dead ass, like, into the camera.
And, I mean, we're basically at this point down, I think, to the very last Sphere Zero check in the game in Lanayru.
Yeah, we're running low. We're running low.
And the only useful item we've seen is that first bottle in all of those checks. So, wow. The good news, though, is that means Lake Floria has to have something. Right? Like...
It likely has something, yeah, for sure.
Unless it's that soul Lanayru Mine chest that actually has our progress item. Which is an evil thing that this randomizer has been known to do. Exactly, Tanjo. That is also how all of our runners are feeling right now. Is some very heavy copium. Yeah, there could also be something in one of the early checks in Cistern. There are a few checks they can do without a whip. But that would definitely mean that a double dip is logically required, which, again, kind of gross. I think nobody really likes double dipping dungeons in Skyward Sword. Although Cistern is not a bad one. But now with that scale, I think they can full clear Cistern with Cistern Clip. Or with the whip. I'm just trying to think. But I think that's right. Yeah, that is kind of cruel. Vanilla whip. Yeah,
So yeah, with that whip and scale, we see Claire heading into Ancient Cistern.
Yeah. We see Firework.
Yeah.
We see Firework doing fence hop, so he's gonna go do Floria in reverse. I think when he sees that whip, he'll be a little sad, just because it's slightly faster to not have to backtrack. I don't know. The routing of reverse Floria is confusing to me.
I think it's faster either way because you skip because if you do it reverse, you skip a lot of like the front half of the Floria stuff, but
yeah,
still it's like in Fireworks' case it is backtracking anyway. Ooh, what is he doing?
He's going to Floria. Oh, he's gonna save Scum in case there's nothing here.
Okay, smart.
Yeah. Which probably means he's also going to Death Warp out of that room.
Ooh, actually, yeah, good point.
So let's see if Early Cistern has anything. Technically speaking, there is one check in Cistern that Claire cannot do logically right now. But I would say the vast majority of our runners are going to just do Cistern Clip to get the boss key chest. This is... Flipping that lily pad in particular is slightly tricky. Honestly, Tanjo, yes. I don't know. Because those two chests from the beginning overlap somewhat, so it's hard to tell. And I've never been very good at.
Those do tend to overlap. I think that's just I think how the I think you can tell if you stand in like a certain spot, but honestly, like if that general area pings, then I tend to do Cistern Clip, and then once you're like out of bounds in Cistern Clip, then you can tell which one's which. But like just from the surface, I think they kind of overlap quite annoyingly.
Yeah, they do. Sometimes from like if you're around the back of Cistern, you can tell a little more. It's really from the front where they're kind of in line or close to in line. Okay, so Claire is gonna do the mini boss here, vanilla, which we don't see that often. Although I guess it's a little more common because this is, I think, a more difficult clip to do than the basement clip.
I liked Fireworks Spinner's game over screen.
Oh, I missed it.
I can't remember what it said, but it said something funny.
We'll probably see it again.
Oh yeah, this is good, so we'll definitely see it again.
If the ping circle is bigger and farther forward its mini boss. The problem, Gal, is if there's only one ping. This Stalfos is not the hardest, but it does shift the swords around a lot, which can make the timing a little bit of a pain. I remember when I played this vanilla, I struggled hard with this mini boss.
This is certainly one of those fights. Like there are some fights, like I think this and I think Demise is also like a very good example, where it's like it's basically scripted. You can do this, like you can do this fight blindfolded. I have seen many people do this fight blindfolded.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
You can. It's very, very scripted, and it's very, very like sword combat based. But you just have to be really confident in the swords combat. Otherwise, it's like it's either the easiest fight in the game or the hardest fight in the game.
Yeah, I thought it was more RNG, but
it's okay. There is an RNG element to it, but you can get around that RNG element. Yeah. Okay, no, okay. By scripted, I mean it's not like Demise level scripted. That is like scripted to the letter. It's scripted more in the sense of like Wind Waker Ganondorf scripted, where it's like the same fight over and over again. There are some slight differences, but it's the same thing. No, there is. Oh, okay. I remember it's like back in like the day, right? Best example of someone doing this blindfolded. TLOZSR in the Games on Quick Summer 2014 run. He in like the old. Really long 80%. He did it blindfolded.
So Claire is actually going to beat Coloctos here, and then maybe go back for the other checks, which is not necessarily the worst thing. I don't think any other chests pinged. I don't remember if that rupee was anything. I don't know if I don't think the Bokoblin was hinted.
I don't think it was either.
Check.
The behind lily pad was hinted, and that was nothing. So we won't see runners go like that far.
So the Bokoblin might be the only thing, and I don't know. In a race, orphaning that maybe not the worst idea, especially now that you have this bow, which the bow opens up Beetle, and Beetle could be very useful today. Again, given that we're 25 minutes in, that's our first projectile. It very well may lock everything else. Although if like a Triforce ends up being on that check, that is the one situation where Claire will be very sad.
Also, I think that like neither runner can actually get Bokoblin like that's a check right now because neither of them have Beetle or Bow.
No, Claire does have Bow.
Oh, does she? Where did she get it?
She got it in the mini boss chest. Oh, and
okay.
Tanjo making the very good point. If nothing else, paying the small key has to be on Bokoblin. That is a good point. Yeah, so we see Firework doing Cistern Clip here. Hopefully douses to be able to tell which check. There is another ping, though. I don't know which one. No, Claire was trying to get was trying to one cycle the first phase here. So I don't know which chest it was that pinged. Although whichever it was is not in a great location without claw shots. And yeah, I think Firework doing the same thing. He's gonna just go fight Galactos instead of checking that ping. Or maybe not.
Okay, Firework's just like pinging some things around.
Looks like it's one of the chests by the vines there.
Well, that's one way to get down.
Yeah.
On Fireworks.
That's not going to be a fun chest to get to.
Oh, yeah.
Shots. It's
I think it, yeah.
It might be the one that's just behind the two whip. We'll see.
Firework definitely thinks it's this one here.
Yeah.
Going up to it. It's both of them?
Oh.
Anyway, here's a slingshot.
So that is 2 scale locked. Yeah, 2 scale locked projectiles. Unfortunately, those bombs Claire got are not our bomb back. Something, I mean, you're going to see Firework do this. Most runners prefer just doing Cistern with claw shots because it is much faster. Basically, claw shots let you skip this part that Firework is doing right now, where you kind of have to go around the slow way. But if there's something really useful here that Claire skipped, this would be a big advantage to Firework. I'm very curious, though, what is on Beetle's shop. Because I feel like Beetle's going to have something major. One other piece of advice for new runners if you're watching this. You do not want to kill that bokoblin. Firework probably actually needs to keep going here. Because this is the only way without claw shots to get to that other chest.
Okay, not necessarily you can do System Clip to get down there. But, okay, Firework Spin is thinking, ooh, hello, claw shots. On the 300s.
Claire probably should actually grab that wallet. Because that wallet will fill up her wallet more.
That's true. She's going for this one. I think she just wants to see what these are first. I don't know if she saved, she could save scum a bunch of these checks here.
Yeah, so we do have the setting enabled with
Oh, oh, sorry, Claire found a gold rupee. That's a good find.
that's nice.
That's a very good find.
Although
It doesn't do anything because it added.
Yeah, it adds it before you subtract the money.
Yeah, Claire then buying the.
Okay, Firework actually doing Sister and Clip to get to this chest.
Okay, because Claire actually bought the wallet, actually gave her the money that was lost in the thing. Okay, there's another bottle that she doesn't use, so she could just buy the core shots. Yeah, nice. That worked out for Claire.
So
pretty nicely.
That fulfills our Central Skyloft to Tantalus. In a very weird way, kind of long way, because our scale locked our first 2 projectiles to give us Beetle. Our scale was in Central Skyloft, though.
Yeah, yeah. It's more the fact that the scale locked access to Beetle, at least as far as we know.
So our scale is that's actually both path hints pointing to our scale.
Alright, Firework finding the Triforce, and his reaction is a good one to that. It's like,
yeah, Claire may not come back to that for a little while. That's going to be kind of interesting to see. For her. If or when she comes and checks it. Did she douse the rest of
I don't think so.
Okay. She'll probably just come back when she has bomb back and
check. Probably, yeah. I can imagine.
Unless mine was hinted dead and we missed it, but I don't think it was. But I mean, with everything Claire has, she at this point I think can full clear Sandchap.
Yes.
Technically not logically, but
yeah.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I don't think you need Bellows logically for anything. So
you need Bellows if you don't. You need Bellows for the combination lock check if you don't have Bow. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Logically, you need Bellows so you can see what the code actually is. Because if you have the bow, you can just get all the sand away by making it the past. If you have if it's the present, then you can. The only way you can remove the sand is by blowing it away.
Yeah, but I think because bow can take you to the past, that allows you to skip the Bellows requirement. So
yeah, pretty much
yeah. So
and that's basically it. Yeah, honestly with just Sandchip entry, which is something we have anyway, and bow, claw shot, and whip, you can pretty much do like all of Sandchip. If I recall correctly.
And I don't think that's a bad idea because you can't clear a lot of Lanayru Desert yet. Sandsea is absolutely gross right now, other than just dousing it. But even then, I mean, you can do Skipper's Retreat, but there are a lot of checks in other places you can't do. So, like, full clearing Sandsea and hoping maybe you're going to get, your bombs or beetle, something useful there makes a lot of sense. I did not know you could stand that close, like Firework is, and avoid getting hit. I'm going to remember this for next time I have to fight Galactus.
So we are not even 40 minutes in. Claire is already in a second dungeon. We're getting through the dungeons pretty quickly, out of everything considered. So this might be a bit of a casino type seed where we're done with most of like the dungeons pretty quickly, and we just have like swords, harps, and Triforce pieces and whatever we need to find.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got 3 swords, 2 Triforce pieces, and a harp that we don't have. Claire checking to see if the boss key chest has something. That's true. We do have 1 sword here on the Skirvo fight. And forget if that is... I don't think that's the boss key chest. I forget which chest that is that spawned in, but... That is fair, yeah. But I guess I would say, especially with these 2 dungeons, it's kind of surprising that both dungeons are fully clearable in the first 40 minutes, but a lot of the overworld is not. Now I'm trying to figure out what Claire is doing. Did she think she mispinged here?
Maybe.
Firework laughing at the scatter shot. Oh, no, what Claire did... I see what she did. She save quit because that save quitting from this room allows you to skip the whole sequence to unlock the time shift stone. So yeah, with the key start, she was able to skip the mask sequence. That makes a lot more sense. He's definitely going to have to be careful here with only 1 1/4 hearts. These BMOs control you pretty hard. Deep Woods has anything for firework here.
White sword for Claire.
Yeah, so that is 2 swords in Sanchez. Something ping here and I just misread
I think so.
the stream. I mean, it must have. If firework is going. He's going to do cube warp here. The only goddess cube you will see in these settings that anyone ever activates.
Yeah, nicely done. Very good cube up, actually.
Yeah. Firework does run any percent. So not surprising that he is able to get it, but firework. Skyview's not a dungeon.
I think I see what he's doing here. I think I know exactly what he's doing.
Is he trying to set up some kind of back in time thing?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's doing some early Thunderhead shenanigans.
Oh, okay. Because that opening up Skyview is the flag for early Thunderhead.
That's the flag in Deep Woods. There are other flags,
Oh, right.
which I can't quite remember now. Actually, been quite a while. I'll be honest, since I've done that. But yeah. So perfect time to bring up the fact that we do not start with Ballad of the Goddess, which means that the Thunderhead is not open. So this is more of a thing. Fireworks Minute, did you save?
He did, yeah.
Okay, thank God. Didn't quite see if he saved or not. Oh, blowing up the boulder on the slope, yeah. Oh, that was it, yeah. I thought it was blowing up a boulder. I couldn't quite remember which one it was, but yeah. And there's another one which I think Yal did mention. No, he didn't, but there's another one I think in the No Mines or something. I can't quite remember.
Flags for early Thunderhead, but
I think I used to. But
cotton-headed mini muggins. I'm looking up what this is a reference to. Oh, okay. It's a reference to Elf.
That, given the festive colors, that is pretty nice and fitting.
Yeah, I knew it had to be something holiday related, but like, I'm Jewish, so I have not watched all the Christmas movies.
Mm.
And there's our hinted sword on Skirvo. I don't think we got the robots in the brig hinted, did we?
That was hinted. The robots in the brig. I can't.
Oh,
I think it was nothing. Yeah, rescue crew. That's
the brig crew. It was. It had. It okay. It was dead. But the treasure room could still have something. With 5 chests. No, I trust you, Cubed. You pay attention.
Another piece of the Triforce on Claire's side.
The casino may be less extreme.
It's getting less extreme, given that at least on Claire's side we have most of the swords and most of the most of the Triforce pieces we know where they are, right? Claire only has one, but Firework has like another one we need.
Yeah, so there's one sword, one Triforce piece, and the heart. The flag for Gaypora leaving your room is going to sleep to the next morning, and suddenly he's gone. If you sleep once, he leaves.
Firework very much nodding at that extra money,
which he will not need at all.
Oh yeah, for him, he bought the claw shots early, so it's pretty much a useless.
Yeah, and then he bought the wallet, which honestly, that wallet on 50 is very helpful here. Yeah, Space Rock, you would think that, but no, I mean, literally, if you sleep at night doing the Zelda's closet or the clip into Zelda's room, and then warp to the start, I believe Gaypora is gone.
I think he is as well. Yeah, it's just on day one. It's like no matter what you do, he's there. But every day after that, he's not on your own. I'm pretty sure it's got to be like carried over from like vanilla behavior, where like where he's just like standing there. I don't know how long he stands there for in vanilla though. So he stands there right before you enter the surface for the first time, but then I don't know where he goes after that, or when he goes after that. Assuming you haven't like imagine if you like just like never slept at all like in the game, right? Like does Gabriel just like in the vanilla game? Does Gabriel just like chill in your room the whole time? I don't know.
I mean, it would show he cares about his daughter very much.
Oh yeah.
Right, because Zelda is his daughter in this game.
Yeah.
I had to think about that for a second and be like, is that right? Yes. I wonder if Firework is even going to bother with Thunderhead now. I feel like he's probably just going to go down to Lanayru.
Firework is thinking. He looks like he's very much thinking about what he's doing.
Yeah, Farron would not have made a lot of sense. Because there's very little in Farron that he hasn't gotten yet.
Yeah. He's got like most things in Farron, so he's okay. Heading to Lanayru. I think that's like one thing you can do in Farron, but I can't quite remember. I couldn't think off the top of my head what that is.
Get to the top of the tree and check, and at least peek the 2 items on top there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know that that's a really efficient.
That wouldn't be that efficient given you wouldn't have beetle and there's other beetle shot like things as well. So no, yeah, going to Lanayru here makes sense. I think I'd agree with this play.
If that's a chest that Firework can get, maybe he's gonna break slide, but no, he's just gonna skip.
Alright, so now
most of these
everything in it pinks apparently.
I was
digging mints.
Well, that opens up the rest of Elden Volcano.
Gust Bellows.
Doesn't open much up. Only opens 1 check that's dead. But
and there's a boss key.
Loaded treasure room.
That is a pretty loaded treasure room.
Mainly just because the mints open up a lot. And I don't think Tentacless Heart Container was hinted, so I don't know if Claire knows that RBM, but we're not going to see it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it was hinted this time around.
No, we definitely did not get it because with Sandship there are quite a few locations that are sometimes hint, so I think we do actually use all the sometimes hint when you have Sandship. Because I don't know if Gorko. I don't know if we got like a Gorko hint either.
I can't remember if we did either.
Or like Zelda's Blessing. I think one of the 2 we didn't get. Firework, at least dowsing to see. There might be some chests he can get. There's a lot of information he can get here in the neighborhood. Even though without bombs or hook beetle, there's very little he can actually do. I think there's only like 3-4 checks in logic. It's a very small number without bombs or a hook beetle. But every chest in Lanayru Desert is dowsable. All the checks are chests, and so there's a lot of information you can get fairly quickly.
Oh yeah, like when you take like dowsing into account, like Lanayru Desert is pretty much like one of the most, if not the most, check dense area in the game. You can just like wave your sword around and clear like 16 checks in the span of like 3 minutes. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and so even if you can't collect them all, this is still pretty valuable. Right. Oh yeah, the rescuing the caged robot is the one. Alright, so that's, well,
There is one check that Fireworks Spinner cannot do right now.
yeah. And it's the only one that's not gassable here.
Earrings. Yeah, a bit of a head shake, like sideways head shake at that earrings.
Yeah, he can't really use them because he doesn't have any other access to Volcano Summit.
Yeah.
Without bombs or hook beetle or mitts, he can't.
Also,
the Summit entrance.
Yeah. Also, because Summit itself is dead, although they might still be useful in Boca base.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Claire with the Tenthus blow strats. This is a thing where you have the Gust Bellows, and you blow at Tenthus with the Gust Bellows, and for whatever reason, it's faster than using like a sword or anything. It's pretty funny.
Well, it does a lot of hits very quickly. This is unique to the US NTSCU 1.0 version, which is used for the randomizer, not used for many speedrun. Most people use the Japanese.
Yeah, for vanilla, Japanese is in every main category, and it's kind of just like, why is this a thing? I'm not complaining, but why is this a thing? Why does the Gust Bellows do damage?
Yeah. So Firework did not go into Thunderhead because he went to Lanayru as soon as he got his claw shots. Kind of also makes sense knowing you have a sword in Sandship and you can full clear Sandship. Kind of makes sense to wait on Thunderhead. Yeah, credit to Pac-Man Power Ghost who discovered this within sometime in the last year.
Yeah, it was like not recent, but it's
What is Firework doing here?
So he first of all he made a crop file, which was pretty cool and might be useful for later. I don't know what RBM he's doing. He's sleeping tonight, it seems. I do wonder what he's gonna be doing with that.
Could this be the party wheel time shift stone RBM? Did that
maybe?
I think that was a little.
I think that's too late, actually. Yeah, that was late. Yeah, for that RBM, you want to start the file and then run into the crystal.
That's sorry, I meant he got the crystal early.
Okay, he did get the crystal way too early. Yeah. He's shaking his head. He knew that didn't work from the moment he went in that.
I think he's just deciding to bail on this RBM. So we are an hour in, and Claire has cleared both required dungeons.
Claire just needs two Triforces, a sword, and a harp, and then she's good. We know where one of those Triforce pieces are.
I'm scared for her because I don't know when she's going to go back to Sister.
Yeah, that's like she's close to go mode, sort of, but she's still she could be prioritizing her love checks beforehand.
Yeah, I mean that could be a last location. Like, that's one of the risks when you don't full clear a required dungeon when
Yeah.
you're able to.
I hope at least that like she'll like remember that it pinged, so she might go back earlier. But that's like that's all I can really hope for her at this point.
Yeah, if she remembered it pinged and goes back, that's great. I'm just not sure she's going to go back to Farron for a while. Because there were just also so many checks she was able to get that it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think we're going to see Skipper's Retreat. Or, no, we're going to see Pirate Stronghold first. There are a few checks that she can't douse or peek here. There are some rupee sanity checks that are hidden, but she can at least go into the stronghold and douse very quickly, figure out if any of these 3 items have something. Oh, she can't do anything in Skippers. Right. Because no bombs, no Gust Bellows. Or no Hook Beetle, not Gust Bellows. God, Firework has the horn music here in Sansi, which is giving me anxiety. It's my least favorite part of the game. Yeah, and happy 1 hour. Thanks again to our tracker, Cube David. And of course, my co-commentator, Kit Cod.
So Claire just doing the Zelda's closet there, just not getting much though. Just a red rupee.
Yeah, we'll probably also see her get the bird's nest. Because she has Bellows, she can check that, and that will be, I think, the last check here in Skyloft. I'm trying to think. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. Oh, okay, Claire's fine. Claire almost went over the edge, but the scale saved her, so she's good. Nice dive. Just barely misses the bird's nest.
No, I am slightly delayed all of a sudden.
I'm at 20 seconds. Okay, so I think I'm...
Yeah, I got... Something got... Do you think?
Right,
Oh, she missed the bird's nest?
Yeah.
It's... Yeah, the skydive onto the bird's nest, especially from here, is a little weird. Not going to say tricky necessarily, but... That is...
Right. Yeah, better dive.
That's our Magma Mix.
Yeah, that is definitely
Which
Magma
they don't lock a lot at this point. But I think Claire is going to go back and try and full clear at least Elden Volcano.
Oh, it would make sense, yeah.
She can't full clear Boko base, so I don't know if she's going to. But she can do a decent number of checks, so it kind of makes sense for her to go in. So I think she can actually get. She can't get into the volcano summit part. I mean, if our bomb bag is in Boko base, blocking something in the top part, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, no, you're right. She'll need the bomb bag to get into the later into the summit in Boko base.
So I think she can get everything else, like in the first area of Boko base, and there were some pings there. But Coblin base is not an area of runners. It's another one of those places people don't
Oh, there we
like
are.
big. But yeah, well, now
There's the
Claire
bomb bag.
Claire does not have her fire shield earrings because those were in desert.
Does she not? She has them marked on a tracker.
No, because she. I don't think they're marked on this tracker.
That-
The,
oh,
the
wait, wait,
tracker
okay,
is fireworks.
okay, wait. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong. My bad. I'm looking at
Yeah,
fireworks
we only
tracker.
see. Yeah, there's not. There's like a tiny line, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's our first beetle. An hour in. Basically, the beginning of the seed where it funneled you into Cistern. This has been a little more open. Because now with a beetle and bombs, Claire can almost full clear desert. She needs hook beetle. But those bombs also open up. Those bombs in that beetle also open up basically all Sansi. They open up most of Boko base. We're kind of just at the point where it's who can clear the overworld and find the unhinted required items faster. And I still kind of think Firework has the edge, only because he got that Cistern Triforce.
Yeah, I think it's kind of going to depend. I think when Claire goes back to system to get that, really.
Yeah. The earlier she goes to get it, the better for her. If she lost locations or forgot that something else pinged there, it could be a rough one. There's our spiral charge that is useless in this seed. At this point, there's, Harp and Ballad are both going to lock some things, but we kind of have access to the majority of the checks in the game at this point. There are a few hook beetle things, but it's not much. really know what else to say other than like Claire is full clearing Eldin. Makes a lot of sense with what she's got. She's probably going to go back to Linearu after this because she can full clear mines, clear a lot of desert.
Yeah, I mean, both the runners kind of just doing stuff here. Not much, not yeah. As Golden Dolly said, not much to report. Just kind of the runners going through the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes the most sense for Claire to go Linearu at this point.
I think so as well, especially with that bomb bag. Yeah.
I mean, and maybe even go back to Sansi. But I think she might be death warping back to the East Volcano statue. No, because she talked to the statue by Earth Temple. Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, she ended up here anyway.
Yeah. So I think she's going to check these beetle lock checks. And maybe we're going to see a Boko base. As much of a pain as it is. Yeah, she's not even looking at what's in those two.
I think she might peek them earlier and decide they were useless because you can peek them from like the start.
Oh, okay, yeah. I did not realize you have to save to get a respawn point. For some reason, I thought you would just go back to the last statue you talked to, but that does make more sense. That was a decent number of things here. Firework laughing at the bellows. Except bellows are actually fairly useful. I mean, slightly more useful because they do lock some things here in Bokoblin Base. That we're going to see. This is, I guess, the only thing that is purely locked behind bellows. But it's more than there are in the rest of the overworld. Fortunately, bellows are underutilized in the game. Or maybe, depending on how you feel, adequately used. Well, okay, there's a hook beetle. Opens up a few more checks for Claire, including definitely letting her full clear desert.
Yeah, so Claire's gonna do this part kind of backwards here because she can. It's quite nice as well.
Makes a lot of sense if you're able to. Because you skip a kind of auto-scrolling section. Just gotta be careful. There's a Boko roaming around here. You don't want to get caught. I didn't think Claire would know how to do the P-hat skip here. Also not sure if it's that much faster.
It is a little bit faster. I've seen people use it anyway.
You mean Jasnix?
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah. Claire does not have.
Claire does not have Fire Shield earrings. Cannot go here. She is gonna try.
Is trying to anyway.
She's gonna go in and douse it.
If I stops you. Yeah, if she still stops you in Boca Base as well.
I did not know that, but also I've literally never tried.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna see Firework now finish off Tantalus. We didn't really talk too much about his sand chip, just because we've seen it. It's a pretty conventional, just kind of full clear. Or full clear of what he knew he had to get.
Right, Firework is also using the
Tantalus blow strat.
Not only is it funny, but it is actually the faster way to kill Tantalus.
It is, yep.
And yeah, Claire is going to go off to Linearu. So I think we're going to see Mines and we're going to see Mines and Desert full clear first. And we have a lot of potential bait pings. There's still... Claire has 40 crystals, so there are still 5 Gratitude Crystal packs. I don't know if she skipped any, but there are a few Gratitude Crystal packs. There are some bottles. There's another bow. So she's probably going to get a lot of junk items that ping, but again, like, this makes the most sense to just go, okay, there are some Gratitude Crystals that were skipped in Floria, so that slightly reduces the amount of junk. But yeah, I mean, I think the question now is how much of the seed is going to get in full clear in the Triforce, Harp Hunt, and Sword. I was worried there for a second that Firework might have been a little late to get that shot. But nope. He knows his Tantalus strategy. Although still a little too late for that second shot. The timing is a little tricky for that one. Like, you have to get your bow off very quickly. I think he's having some nunchuck troubles, which does also happen sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen him kind of fiddle around with his nunchuck at least a few times so far.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a weird. It's just a sometimes bit of a whack piece of equipment sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the motion controls generally work pretty well, but they definitely do have their moments where they just...
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like no one can say that they work 100% of the time because they don't.
Yeah.
It's just like, for example, like often the disagreement comes from like how often they work. Like some people will say like a 99, some people will say like less than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nunchucks are their own beast though.
Yeah, that is also true. And yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone, I'm not going to name them, who is probably going to be part of the Remlets tournament, who was using a third-party Wii Motion Plus and upgraded to a Nintendo branded one. And anecdotally, I have heard that the Nintendo branded ones really do work better for this game. There's not a lot of Wii games that actually used it to begin with. And so I don't think a lot of the third parties necessarily had the reason to like reverse engineer it to work as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like little things that can like really make a big difference. Like, for example, like that, like the hardware people use, the like just even that, like just like how your setup is arranged with like the sensor bar and everything, that can be an impact. There's the last Triforce piece.
All right, so
On
all we're
Claire's
missing now is a sword and a heart.
Yeah.
I like Firework going to Thunderhead now. He's going to ping the chest. Probably check it before Isle of Songs. But he can clear all 4 checks here. I was going to say this is out of logic, but honestly, there's not a lot of items that could be logically locked behind this. And we just saw him unplug and replug in his nunchuck. So he's having some minor technical hardware issues.
Another bow.
That is our third bow.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it.
There's like one. There's one down. Like upgrades in the pool are cool, but one downside is it does have a lot more sort of like Baron blockers or like just like debate items like that. Actually, I don't know if a bow like that is a Baron blocker specifically, but either way, it's yeah.
It is, even if it's technically locked behind the other bows.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, on the other hand, I will say, like, I think it does help keep dousing from being like too overpowered to have some junk type items that can douse. And I will admit that is a point of active debate in the community. Whether dousing is too strong or not, whether having junk items dousing is good or not. But dowsing is a very powerful tool. And so having it ping some things that you might not actually need is not the worst thing. But that is a totally junk Thunderhead. One more item here in Fire Node for Claire, but so far also a whole lot of nothing.
Okay, there's Ballad of the Goddess.
Yeah, and that is locked behind our Hook Beetle. No, that's not Hook Beetle locked. That's just Bomb locked. Kind of makes sense that it's not actually locking anything. The only things that Ballad locks, I believe, is Thunderhead. Yeah, Firework is going to go check the bird's nest. I really do think at this point it's just a question of who is going to route the rest of this seed more efficiently, but also potentially who gets lucky with where, not lucky, but like who goes to where that last sword is first.
Basically, yeah, who stumbles upon their items they need first, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, especially if it's something like Firework potentially may have access to all of Boko base earlier.
Oh yeah.
And so he may full clear Boko base when he goes, and if our harp or sword are there, that's going to benefit him. Whereas Claire,
Right, yeah.
Claire is probably not going to go back for a little while again because it takes a little while to get up to the summit entry. Firework is probably just going to do Boko base now, honestly. Just thinking, I guess not. I thought he might. He's thinking. I don't think Claire's going to be thrilled about that. Yet another bottle.
Yeah, I mean, how many does Claire have at this point? Quite a few at this point, like 3 or 4.
I think 3.
Yeah, just 3.
3 out of 5. There are a lot of bottles in this game. Oh.
I Firework with a reaction upon seeing the bomb bag there.
I actually think he's really happy about that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's going to potentially send him to Boko base because he needed that to full clear it.
Oh yeah.
With the items he had. So actually, I think.
All right, last sword for Claire.
I don't know what he just showed us on stream. There's something with a thumbs up.
Oh, he's changing his light around. His light went from like whatever it was, like blue to green or something in his room. It's actually quite cool.
Yeah.
I've got that. I've got that sort of thing in like my room somewhere. Like a switch, I can change the color of my light. It's pretty funky. Anyway.
Lightning Node is dead.
Oh wait, yeah, okay. So we're just gonna see Claire just straight up just do a firewall here.
Yeah. So yes, both of our runners have finished both of our dungeons at this point. We're just in an overworld hunt, so Firework is going to get his last Triforce in Linear Desert when he goes back. And then we are looking for a sword and the Goddess Heart. Yeah, so the required items to beat a seed on these settings are your True Master Sword, which is level 6. Wait, Claire has... When did Claire get her TMS?
Not too long ago. In the in one of the chests in
Desert.
Desert, yeah.
Okay. I totally missed that. Yeah, so you need your True Master Sword, which is level 6. You need all 3 pieces of the Triforce. You need the Goddess Harp, because that's required to open up the Gate of Time. And you have to beat your 2 required dungeons. And so The Triforce that Firework has that Claire does not was in a chest in Ancient Cistern that Claire did not go to because it would have been a little slower for her to get to. So she didn't full clear Cistern. Firework did. If Firework had gotten that RBM for the party wheel, he would have his third Triforce.
Yeah, that would be pretty good actually.
We're gonna see a probably strong reaction out of him.
Oh, I can imagine. I can very much imagine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of where a harp could be. Top of Great Tree and Farron is an option. There's Skipper's Retreat, and there are a few places in Sansi with beetle locked checks that Claire couldn't get. Gorge. Trying to think what else. But there's not a lot. I do think this is now something where like Firework has routed some things a little more efficiently, just not having to double dip. Where we could see that maybe hurting Claire at the end. Like she has gotten through pretty quickly, but she's gonna have to go back to all of Sansi to do a lot. Whereas Firework just kind of skipped it all.
I think that like that's definitely like in this race, especially, it does appear that like one of like Firework's strength is the fact that like he's routed this quite well, and as you say, like his dips are going to be like less than Claire and probably other runners as well, and yeah, it's just like I think it just looks like Claire is slightly more ahead because Claire is just faster right now than Firework Spinner, so. Like
she's
Firework,
things quickly.
Yeah. So Firework is having a bit of like that execution disadvantage, but his routing, I'd say, is pretty good. I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, depending on where the harp is, it can be moved. But it's I mean, it really. We'll see. So Claire's also going to show something off that is technically not in logic, but a very useful trick to know. So these two checks on top of these statues by the harbor entrance, technically in logic require quick beetle, but if you kind of slowly approach them and only vertically go up late, you can actually get these checks from where Claire went. The vertical kill plane basically goes with you, so it's a little higher here. It's when it hits red is when you hit the kill plane. Basically, from the harbor entrance, you can only check them with the quick beetle because you hit the kill plane lower, and only the quick beetle can actually get all the way up before it dies. We also saw Claire using the rupee dowsing, which is something you get with the later swords. And you can actually douse some of the... I don't know exactly what you can douse with those checks, but you can douse treasures similarly to how you douse chests. I don't know exactly how it works though. Firework. Yeah. Firework down to 1 heart here. Living slightly dangerously. And only one thing dowsing here in Volcano Summit. So there are 3 chests plus the Fire Dragon's reward here in the Bokoblin base. And essentially, once you talk to the Fire Dragon, the barriers go away, but all the chests stay. So there are 2 chests kind of in the entrance that you'll usually get before you get the Fire Dragon, and then there's the chest that's kind of locked behind some things that you want to get after. Got unchecking skippers. I didn't see if anything else pinged. Okay. Yeah, and where Claire is in Skipper's Retreat is probably one of, I would say, one of the least favorite areas of our runners, like many Skyward Sword runners. There are a lot of item requirements. It's kind of slow to climb all the way up.
Yeah. The movement's also like semi-precise here and there as well. It's like it can be quite annoying. Oh yeah, and like Claire just having a good example there of just like slightly missing the claw shot target and getting munched by the dude there.
Yeah, and if you don't get that second claw shot off fast enough, you will get munched. Like you have to get the precise spot, but you also have to get the second claw shot very quickly.
Okay, there's the harp.
So now
for Claire, it's just a matter of how long is it until she goes back to Siston.
Yeah. I think we're going to see Firework get to Lineru soon, but it's probably going to be, I would guess, another 10 to 15 minutes at least before Firework gets through all of that and finishes off the seed. And
right, so we do have a first place finisher, J-Dude, time of 1:36.51. So GG's to him, very well played, first place out of the 9 players racing. So very good time for these sort of settings.
Yeah. And we're seeing Firework, so usually you need to bomb this tower from the side by Earth Temple, but there are a few different ways you can do it with a Hook Beetle, or even just a precisely timed throw, so you don't need to. We're seeing Claire now go... Maybe Claire did get that Triforce, and we just missed it. Okay. Cube David says, pretty sure she did not. She's just checking Gorko. It's one of our sometimes hinted locations that was not hinted today. Not a fan favorite.
Dwarving is hard.
With a Wiimote, it is.
I don't think that's going to work. Oh, it did. Okay. Ignore me. I know absolutely nothing about this game.
Thanks for the raid and GG's, J-Dude. Firework checking these last checks in Eldin, which we know have nothing. But Now
Janu's
we're
saying
gonna
he
see
skipped all the Fire and Boca base. That is a pretty decent amount of check skip there.
only one beetle. I mean, that's
Wow.
makes sense with this seed where things were located. Yeah, we're seeing Claire. So Zelda's Blessing was also not hinted. That's a check that is locked behind your True Master Sword and Harp. It basically can only be a Triforce or something leading to a Triforce. Not basically, it can only be one of those if it's a progression item. Yeah, and this really now is, at least between our two runners, just a question of where they go first. And if Claire does not go back for that Sister and Triforce, this could be a while for her. Yeah, J Dude, it was interesting because that bottle was our path item. So that bottle was our path item to Galactos, and that scale was our path item to Tantalus. So this was kind of overlapping paths, which can happen. And usually you think of scale as path to Galactos, but it was our path to Tantalus today because it locked both of our projectiles, or all of them. It was a very restricted seed early on, and then I think basically after your two dungeons, really wide open. Seeing Claire peek these items, which we know have nothing. She's going to go check this chest inside of the Great Tree, which we know is probably either a bottle or beetle, but oh, she was able to get it without killing the moblin. I didn't know you could do that, but I guess you land just above the vertical kill plane where she landed.
Yeah, I mean, either way, she made it work, so.
Yeah, because usually you hit the vertical kill plane.
Item and Bird's Nest.
That's
where they
right.
were.
We're second finisher, Raid Spinel.
GG's to Raid, coming in with a 142.31. Not too far off J-Dude, so a very good time for the seed.
Yeah. I'm curious what Back in Time Shenanigans Raid did. He is a fan of trade.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Firework is about to get baited hard. Well, no, not baited too hard. Because there's his harp here.
Well, there are still some useful things here. So
yeah,
this is a net positive, I feel, because that's to come here anyway.
No. Okay, he's actually going back to main desert first.
Okay.
Or just Gorge, maybe? Okay, is Claire maybe gonna go back to Cistern?
Ah, she might be doing that.
Or is she just checking the one Floria item? If she checks Cistern, she's going to be done in 7 minutes, probably.
It doesn't look like she's checking system. She's going right back out. Yeah,
She would be done in like 7 minutes because especially like this end game, especially with that horde, is very quick.
Yes.
But it does seem like to be a little bit longer than 7 minutes until Claire is done because she's going to be clearing up a few other things instead. She might have mispeaked it, I guess, but like, yeah, she either mispeaked it or she's like really hoping that's like some like pingable junk or something. Hoping it's the latter, so she'll actually finish. But otherwise, it'd be quite unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm hoping she just, because if she mispinged it and marked it off her tracker, I don't know when she's going to go back. Yes, J-Dude, that's correct. He's also missing the harp, obviously. So he's going to get this sword in Triforce very soon. Yeah. Second mitts were in the bird's nest. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about that Vines chest for Claire is it was in logic, it just would have been a lot slower. And so she kind of skipped it. She skipped that and she skipped the Bokoblin. So, like, if she mispinged and thought that chest was dead, that could explain a lot. Just would be very unfortunate.
Alright, so well, Claire has found pretty much all her beetles.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for Claire now.
Yeah,
Because I
let's see how
don't
the
know
scene
what
kind of
else
pans
she
out.
has left.
Alright, let's see what Firework makes of this.
He's praying. Yeah, he's going to be sad about that. So he tried to do the RBM for the stone to blow up the bombs covering it. He just didn't get the timing right, and so after one try, he decided that was enough and left.
I keep doing this. I keep thinking, like, on the restreamer page, I keep looking at a fireworks tracker and thinking it's Claire's. Why do I keep doing this? It's like, I don't know.
We're going to see
Feels like
Claire
how
do the call and check.
Oh yeah, she's the firework, but then sleeping tonight.
I just had to refresh the page for a second. Yeah, I mean, we're really just... Firework is not necessarily far from clearing. He's just going to get baited by a lot of things here in Desert. Claire, I think, is going to go check Gorge now. Again, not really going to get much of anything. And I will say, like, misreading dowsing is something that happens to everyone. It takes a lot of time sometimes to kind of figure out all of the quirks and how it works, and yeah. There's our ballad for Firework, but he's already been to Thunderhead. Doesn't do any good for him right now. That's nice to hear, Raid. We have recently had a fair number of newer runners joining. I don't know if we mentioned this up front. I'm sure we did, but we're going to have a tournament starting sometime in January called Remlets. It's going to be kind of like the Ocarina of Time Scrubs, the Wind Waker mini blends, with kind of shorter settings, and they're a little more beginner friendly. So everyone who tries, if you're slower, you're not going to like qualify out. You'll still be able to race. If you come over to our Discord, you will find some information on it shortly. There's a few kind of minor things I think that the organizers are trying to work on finalizing. Yeah, it was a very loaded sand ship. And I just dropped a link to the SSR Racing Discord. Claire, I don't know. I think Claire really is at the point where she's hit everything. And I don't know what she's got left that she's going to go for.
She's starting to get low, yeah. Hi, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, and we kind of see Claire basically full cleared the seed faster than Firework did, but just unfortunate. Maybe going back to Sistering now.
Yeah, she's heading in that direction, so we'll see.
I mean, I don't remember if she doused Deep Woods.
What sword is Firework missing?
Whatever the sword is here, which maybe is the Hook Beetle fight.
Wasn't there a sword on? Okay, actually, go back here. Wasn't there a sword on the lightning node chest?
Oh, did he miss ping that one?
I guess maybe.
Or did he grab it? Because he should have. I assume he grabbed it already.
Yeah.
And over there. Okay, Claire, going back in, wondering if it's the Bokoblin, is checking that before the chest. Oh, and welcome in Raiders from Zelda Speedruns. That must have been from the Tears of the Kingdom, so it must have. Okay. I'm not gonna. For anyone who's here, I'm not gonna spoil, but based on the timing, there's some things I can figure out. Claire now may be gonna regret going this far when that chest that pinged is accessible.
Yeah, that chest right there, pretty much at the start of the dungeon for her, relative to where she's going, is where what has her last Triforce piece.
Yeah, but she's gonna be finished in not that long.
Okay, Firework is finally getting that sword.
Yeah, so now he
Okay,
just needs
he
to.
looks happy.
He just needs to get his harp in Skipper's Retreat. So I think Claire is going to be ahead here.
Yeah, seems like it.
Because the amount of time for Claire to go check this and then just go grab that last chest, it's not going to be too long.
Firework looks happy, so he's changed his room lighting from blue to green.
Does Firework forget that he doesn't have the harp?
Uh,
I think he might have forgotten he doesn't have the harp.
Maybe.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It is kind of easy to forget about.
Yeah. Or maybe he knows. He's definitely checking this right here.
Yeah. He's maybe just trying to not go to Sansi, which, again,
Fair
don't
enough.
hate it. Because Sansi is terrible, but it's also just somewhat unfortunate.
Here's Claire about to get her last thing here.
Yeah. And this is unfortunate for Claire only because she had the bow. This was in logic. Her first time she was here.
She could have got this very close to the start of the game. So she could have been going mode for quite a while. But
yeah. And it's kind of the balance, sometimes full clearing a dungeon is slow, but it is also very useful. Claire doesn't have to return to the sky, but maybe thinks it's a little faster. Yeah, I mean, J-Dude, that is not a common trick, I would say. And Claire has only been playing and running the game for, I don't know, a few weeks now. She is very new to Skyward Sword. If you look at our top two runners, J-Dude and Raid, have been playing for quite a while. They played in Season 2, which wrapped up around this time a year ago. Firework also did, but has taken some time off. Sure, Raid. Whatever you say. But yeah, Claire should be done in a couple minutes. We'll see if she wants to come in for an interview. Of course, it still has to beat G3 and Demise. I'm not going to say these are easy fights because I'm not very good at them, but they are relatively straightforward when you're used to them. Starting with the shield also really helps. I think that was one of the good quality of life changes that was made to the randomizer that is really wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as Raid says, difficult but exploitable. The Girahim fight, I mean, I would say it's relatively straightforward, and then the Demise fight, once you learn it, it's a completely scripted fight. People do it blindfolded. There's basically no element of randomness if you do it the correct way. It's not to say there's none, but Demise has very predictable patterns. And yeah, I mean, Girahim phase 2 and 3 are very exploitable to do quickly. See Claire getting these stun locks with Skyward strikes. You basically stun Girahim in this phase, and so you can get more hits than usual. And this third phase also pretty straightforward. True Master Sword, you only have to get 2 hits, and now she's into the Demise fight. Firework is making his way through Sandsea. He is gonna last location Skipper's Retreat, which is not surprising. Claire, second try, basically gets the scripted stun lock. There's a set of 5 slashes. Yeah, I mean, so Alcarak, I will say the ship moves faster in the randomizer than normal. It can be very easy to bonk islands as you're going because the ship just moves very quickly. And solid phase 2 here from Claire. Should be finished up fairly soon. And that is GG's for Claire. It's a
GG's for Claire, very solid fight. Yeah, nice third place finish as well.
Yeah, and we'll see if she wants to come in for an interview. Yeah, the Sandsea geometry, there are a lot of little islands. It's very easy to run into them. And the fast boat can be a little bit of a pain. And Claire is going to come in for an interview in a minute or two. Meanwhile, Firework not that far off from finishing, but has to climb Skipper's Retreat. And yeah, I mean, the thing you see here is the hitboxes for these islands are bigger than you would realize. And if you're just not used to it, like there's a clean path to get through. But in the old days, people didn't really have to worry about it because the boat was so slow. Speeding up the boat makes your pathing matter a little more.
So Firework is, yeah, it looks like Firework's going to be getting his harp very shortly here. His harp is just kind of waiting for him at the top of the, I want to say the cacti pillar.
Yes. Yeah, so he's going to be climbing a decent amount. Yeah, Raid pointing out, dowsing here in Skipper's Retreat can get very weird. There are basically chests that are behind each other that you can misping pretty easily. There are a lot of interesting quirks about dowsing. So I'm going to bring Claire in. GG, Claire.
GG's.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I didn't think about it until, believe it or not, the end there. But I'm like, oh, I don't think small keys can be small key locked, can they? Because if you would use the wrong one, then you could screw yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Okay, yeah, so I assume that's the reason as why you didn't do that one chest in the system.
I pinged it, and I'm like, well, I don't have claws, so I don't want to go there. And like, what are the chances it's just the small key anyways? I'm like, I'm out of here. But that's like part of the reason why I didn't go back. Or like when I went and grabbed like the rupee check, I didn't go back in because I was just like, nope, it's still probably dead in there. We're chilling.
Right.
Yeah, there are some places where you can have keys locked behind keys, but Cistern.
Well, and because the thing that I didn't consider, I kind of forgot. Like, I thought, for some reason, I was also thinking about like Bokoblin as being locked behind a key. So I was like, maybe it doesn't matter. And then I'm like, wait a minute, no, the whole point, even like, that's like the whole vanilla point, you just steal a key from that guy before the key door. Like, I don't even, whatever. It was, it was a little silly. But also, I mean, it's just, unlucky. There's also those easily could have just been a bottle, right? And I found
totally.
The rest of those.
Did you find all 5?
I feels like I did. I'm pretty sure I full cleared, so I don't think I left anything behind. I'm pretty sure that was last location.
Firework.
Including going back to frickin' Bokoblin base. I did not want to have to do that.
Firework just had a very ecstatic reaction finding his harp.
He is overly ecstatic about finding that harp right now.
You know what? With where that harp is, I'm gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
Was Firework here earlier? Pinged it and went, nah.
No, I don't think it was first time here.
Yeah, it wasn't even here earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
This is his first time back to Sansi, basically, since he did Sanship. So he full cleared it. He didn't go douse anything anywhere.
I was tempted not even go to Pirates, to be honest. But then I'm like, watch there just be a beetle there. And then I'll be like, god dang it.
Yeah.
And then there was nothing there. But yeah, those beetles were kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. They really held out for a long time, it felt like.
Yeah, I mean, the start of the seed was really bottlenecking you.
It was pretty dry. Yeah, I thought that was very strange. But what was it? We didn't get... Or no, I guess... Was the central to the sand ship, was that just the key, I think?
So that we're pretty sure both path hints. Basically, the Bokoblin base was your bottle, which locked your scale, and your central skyloft was your scale, which locked bow and slingshot, which gave
That's right,
you
that's right.
access.
Yeah.
So like that bottle basically was the only useful Sphere Zero item.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It was like get bottle, and I'm like, oh, clearly. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna just do that and then turn right back around.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to go into desert. I do not want to do mines for, you know, freaking 2 checks, whatever.
Yeah, I mean the entire seat was locked behind the bottle. Ray
Yeah.
is saying Cave's Key was bottle locked. Whip was bottle locked.
That's right. That whip was very convenient. I mean, I was happy to go into Cistern just to get all the ruby checks and peace out. I would have been just fine with that. But I'm like, oh, I guess I'll clear it if it wants me to. Sure, why not? I'll full clear.
Yeah.
Well, if only I had. If only I had. I guess I didn't full clear to be honest.
Yeah, it was a very. You got your dungeons cleared very quickly, but there was a lot of overload you just couldn't do. For a long time.
The casino was open early.
Yeah. I mean, I know Raid and J-Dude said they basically didn't. There were pretty wide areas they both skipped.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, J-Dude didn't go into Bokoblin base at all. Raid never did Farron, J-Dude never did Farron. So, yeah, it was definitely one of those seeds where you get kind of lucky. Firework, having some
They just
hardware.
didn't even go into. I guess if you didn't have the stuff. Literally just went into freaking Florida and that was it. Or Floria.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other parts of the seed I wanted to ask you about. I would rather be in Lake Floria than Florida, personally. But
That's just when I did my first seed, I misread it on the tracker. I'm like, what did that say, Florida? And then now I just keep calling it that. Something I did think about, because like the thing I was basically looking for at the very end are the Triforce shards. It didn't end up mattering, but I'm pretty sure I had a seed where one of those was on top of one of the pirate pillars, like way off in the distance, and you could see it. Like if you just turned your camera and looked, like you could just see it because it's so big. Which is why, like when I was peeking the rupee checks, like up on top of the tree, I was like, oh well, I'm not sure what's there. I can't actually see the item, but it's definitely not the Triforce shard.
yeah,
So
the
I'm leaving.
Triforces are very bright.
They're so large, which is kind of fun. Yeah, like it's clearly not there, so we're fine. Remember, I got one once under the center boulder in the Floria, and it just felt appropriate. Big golden triangle.
So Firework is probably a minute or two away from finishing up, so we'll bring him in for an interview. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, you know, we were saying, Claire, you've only been really playing for a few weeks now, and you did very well.
Thanks. Yeah, overall I'm pretty happy. I'm just a little annoyed that I could have been out of that probably a lot earlier, but that's also just like, you know, it's just gonna be how it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to get too results based, like thinking. My biggest, I don't know if it was the biggest mistake, but I did go into Bokoblin base thinking I was gonna be able to full clear it, forgetting I didn't have the earrings. I'm like, oh, that's right. And then when I was up there, I'm like, can I go and at least ping those 3 chests? Maybe open one if I'm fast. Didn't know that you couldn't go in there at all. I just figured I could damage tank for like 2 seconds, maybe.
I didn't realize that Phi kept you out. It makes sense.
It does make sense, but I was like, dang, that could have saved me some effort. Well, I don't know. I may have ended up going back up there for Drago anyway.
Is GG for Firework with a, we'll see the time, but it's roughly 2:14, 26, 27.
Yeah, nice, GG.
So he's going to come in for an interview as well. Also, Froppy finished up with a 2:13:32.
Nice.
Firework. GG Firework.
GG's.
GG's. Oh, that was a seed.
Yeah, we're saying the start of it kind of bottlenecked, and then you and Claire, I think, did very different things. After
Claire made the right decisions. I didn't.
Well, I definitely made some wrong decisions too, I'll tell you them. At the end, I felt like I was running around with my head cut off.
Sandship was loaded. Like, holy. Like,
Yeah,
you had
like a
2
bunch of
swords, a
swords, yeah.
Triforce, and Gust Bellows and Mitts, too.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Those were both there too.
Sandship was just absolutely stacked for no reason.
Yeah, and that basically opened up the entire seed at that point. Like,
I kind of felt stupid for doing early Thunderhead, but
yeah, I know what I wanted to ask you about.
Where was Ballad actually? I don't remember. I didn't
Ballad
get that.
was
for
in
forever.
Ballad was in Fire Node, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Because yeah, I greeted desert hard. I hate running around in desert. It's so big and so
Same.
easy to waste time. So I just kept greeting it. I'm like, I've got some better things to do. And then I just did it in one sweep.
So I've got a question for you, Firework.
All right.
You went to desert pretty early, and we saw you try the time shift stone RBM.
Yeah, and I failed it.
How sad were you when you saw that block?
I wasn't really. I would have been more upset if that was my go mode, but since it wasn't, I wasn't too upset. I was just more upset the fact that I failed the RBM at the first place. But yeah, if that was my go mode, I would have been a lot more mad.
That's fair.
So that's the one. That's the one with the gratitude crystal and whatever their face's house, right?
Yeah.
The one that underneath respawn in.
Yeah, I wasted my time on like a lot of tricks that didn't end up working. Like I did early Thunderhead. I tried to do the time shift RBM. I tried Zelda's Closet first thing and just gave up on it, which thankfully ended up being dead later on. But still, it's just wasted time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate early Thunderhead when you did it because, well, you did it and then you waited to actually do Thunderhead until you.
Yeah. My plan was because I knew about the one sword in Sandship, so I'm like, okay, I'll do early Thunderhead, and then I'll go to Thunderhead after Sandship. I know I have White Sword at least.
Hmm.
And then end up all being junk.
Yeah,
What talking about? It was the very important bow.
Shouts to bow, bear, and blockers.
Very important bow.
Yeah,
I ended up with the sacred bow at the end.
Same.
Didn't find the other slingshot actually. I don't think.
I found the other slingshot. Where was it?
one was on the Tentalis crest in Sandship.
Was it or was it Ancient Cistern crest? Because I think they were both in Cistern.
Cistern. That's right.
Cistern
Yeah.
Crest had it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the other one.
That's the one I had.
They were both in Cistern.
Yeah, they were both in Cistern. I forget where the other one was. I think it was the hook, the whip chest, the one near the whip. I was so mad when I was going through Ancient Cistern because I knew I had a 50-50 chance of Boko being vanilla, and I was hoping it wasn't vanilla so I can just leave. But then it ended up being vanilla. I'm like, crap! I actually got to do Sister Clip again to check this Vines chest, which ended up being a Triforce. So
It ended up being very. So Claire, that was her last Triforce. That was her go mode item.
all right.
She did her first dip in Sister, and you got it. And we were just kind of watching, and we're like, hopefully Claire remembers that pinged. Otherwise, this could be a disaster.
Yeah. That heart placement though. Ugh. If I had gone to Skippers first before doing Pirates, I probably would end up in fifth. I mean, rather, because me and Poppy finished less than a minute apart.
Yeah.
Or Froppy, sorry. But yeah, that was a scene. I'm glad I got to race. It's definitely interesting being on the other side of things rather than in the commentator booth.
We loved your festive Christmas themed skin.
Yeah, I was seeing
Thank
that.
you.
That looks awesome. That was
Yeah,
super cool.
I gotta make some updates to it, but I figured, Christmas is now less than 10 days away for those who celebrate. So yeah, figured it'd be a little festive.
Mm.
Trying to think if I have any other questions or if you all have anything else, or Kit.
Yeah, I mean, everything I've said is pretty much just everything I was going to say has already been said anyway by you guys. So I got nothing. Nothing else to say.
I completed like both of my dungeons. I'm like, where the hell are our beetles? Our beetles were like really late in logic this seed.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, the Beatles are so weird.
And like, did y'all figure out like what the paths were? Like, was it the bottle from Platt's path
So
to
okay.
to Galactose? Because it locked like a lot of things.
my best guess is that bottle was the Bokoblin-based path to Galactose because it locked your scale.
And it also locked Whip.
Scale was the
because-
central Skyloft.
That is so evil. Because, like, I was thinking that, and I'm just like, damn, they both kind of point to the same thing. They both pointed into each other, and I was just like... It's like, I was full clearing Central Skyloft at first, and, like, I just couldn't find anything. It was all junk early on. It was like, where is this path? And then I got the bottle from Platt's and Boko Base. I'm like, oh, don't tell me this is our path. And sure enough... I immediately get Whip, immediately get Scale or whatever. Oh wait, no, Whip was in Floria. Never mind.
I was almost tempted to just go straight to that bird statue right after the Boko base at the very beginning. I was tempted to just leave right away and just go turn those bottle checks in. I almost did. I kind of wish I did because I don't think I got anything from Magma Turf or anything else. But obviously,
Yeah,
I easily could have, and who knows. So. But I did.
Also, shout out to that excellent bomb bag placement.
Oh yeah.
That bomb bag was evil.
That was pretty.
Being digging mitts locked, and our digging mitts were in terrible locations. We had one in Treasure Room and one in Bird's Nest.
Yeah,
That's right. It was Bird's Nest.
This felt like not a great seed.
I mean, at first I was thinking Jet Seed, but then I thought Jet Seed, so of course it ruined the chances of it being a Jet Seed.
Yeah, I don't think we ever said the word jet on stream.
I was thinking
I think
it, so you
I
can
think
blame
what
me.
we said was the dungeons were cleared really fast, but there's a lot of overworld that just was not
Yeah.
accessible at all.
Overall, a pretty good race, I'd say.
Yeah, it was a fun one still.
It was
So I
definitely
need to get
fun.
more seeds that have Fire Sanctuary. Like, in some ways I'm happy, because those are two dungeons that I feel decently comfortable on, although I don't know how to do... I don't know, but at least he didn't kill me. I was happy about that. I still need to learn
Yes,
that one.
we love Janon.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad, I just literally haven't attempted it yet, so I'm like, well... I'm not gonna do it right now because I don't really know where I'm going.
I mean, I'm honestly, Claire, I'm amazed at like how good you've gotten so quickly. Like come from Wind Waker and just absolutely killing it like you have been here. It's amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been enjoying the rando more than I thought I would. And I think it's just, once you've learned routing,
feel like-
when you've learned routing for one game and like also just how to like learn a rando, I
feel like that's a sentiment that a lot of people share when it comes to Skyward Sword. Like, oh, Skyward Sword. Ooh, Skyward Sword rando though. That's pretty good.
I'm glad I was gonna try it at one point, like forever ago, it feels like, and I didn't. and that was before dowsing. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I kind of didn't, because I think there are some seeds that feel very sloggy, but at least you can skip some of the slog with douse. And
Yeah,
it actually is pretty unique, which is cool.
Dowsing has definitely changed up the routing entirely.
Oh yeah.
And GG's to Nosley, who just finished up with a 224.54.
GG's.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think with that, I think that's all for us for now. Unless anyone else has anything.
Nope.
Um,
Thanks for restream volunteers and everything.
Yeah, so we're going to go raid the Silver Gauntlets, who are doing a fundraising stream. But we've got on main ZSR, there's going to be a Zelda 2 100% tournament finals in 2.5 hours. And tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, which is, I think, 9 p.m. UTC, there's going to be the Tears of the Kingdom any percent grand finals as well. And not a lot else before we take our ZSR Christmas retreat. But thank you for watching, everyone. And have a good rest of your Saturday.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Bye.